Yes, 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 yes. Liverpool versus everybody. I'm here with a good friend of mine, Cam. He's joining me today. Cam, how you feeling?
Doing all right, and yourself?
Good, good, good. So let's get right into it, man. What were your feelings when you saw the draw? Were you happy with it, or were you a little nervous? Give me some of your feelings on the draw when you saw it or heard about it or whatever.
When I first saw the draw, I guess I wasn't too surprised. I think what I looked at later on shocked me more than just the initial draw, but I think that there's definitely some decent matchups, and just with the Liverpool one, I mean, I it's just what we got to do, you know.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of people are. I don't want to say negative, but maybe a little shook, little maybe nervous. I think a lot of people had their eyes maybe on an easier, if you will, tie, maybe Sevilla, Roma. Um, I think we are on the same level as City, if not better, honestly. And
I mean,
I
we
think
beat them once already, right? So like
yeah,
the game before that was just kind of a farce with Mane's red card. So, um, no, I definitely think that if there's any matchup that could have a ton of goals and go either way, it's this matchup. I think that you kind of know more of what you're gonna get with a Barcelona and a Roma and a Sevilla, Bayern Munich. You kind of know more with those. I think the Juventus Real Madrid one is definitely a little closer than those other matchups will end up. But that's just kind of from my first initial thought about it.
yeah, yeah. I'm pleased, and more so just that we're at a European quarterfinal stage. I mean, it's been a long time. I think both of these teams know each other, and in a way, that for me ends up being maybe one of the better situations. We know this team. We played really, really well against them. We know the first game, as you mentioned, was 10 against 11. I mean, my thinking was always, no matter what, we should have never lost 5-0, but we did. We showed them a better game, and I think they proved to us, the fans, how good they could be in that
Yeah.
second game at Liverpool. And besides those last few minutes at the end, I think we did pretty well. So I think we know the issues we can have at the back, but going forward, we're one of the best, if not one of the best in Europe. And I think if that's the case, why not bring on all comers? A lot of people are saying they would rather have Barca or Real Madrid or Bayern, which I get the reasons for that. It's a European tie, so I think some people want that kind of feel of especially
Oh,
if they're in England, to go travel to a warm weather. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. Like we get to play Manchester City 2 times a year already. Like I'm in the same boat with those people where I want to see different matchups.
right.
But and I've kind of noticed I looked back in the past history, and with the three Spanish teams who usually make it, Bayern, Sevilla, not Bayern, sorry, Barca, Sevilla,
Mhm.
and Real. When there's three of them that are making like quarterfinals and semifinals, they're or Atletico, sorry, in the past, they're Real Madrid and Barca are never playing each other until the final.
Yeah, yeah, I
It
know it's great.
it never
It's
happens,
great.
and it's kind of blowing my mind a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely. I think we got to just admit it now. There's definitely some weird rigging system or something with these choices, man. I don't know how they do it. I don't know if it's the balls are warm or the cards are warm and you pick the. I don't know, but even with the Europa League, I don't know if you paid attention, but even those seem a little strange. The choices that they picked, the matchup. So at the end of the day, listen, we were going to come up against a
Yeah,
tough team either way. All these teams
yeah,
left are going to be.
absolutely.
What you say?
Sorry, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you there. I just said absolutely. We're gonna
Yeah,
have a hard game either way. And we still just got to earn your result into the next round. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm feeling a lot of things that you're saying. I think we're more or less on the same page. You know, I'm confident going into this tie. I mean, we got a few weeks now before we even need to be even thinking about that. But yeah, next up is Watford, and we all know what happened the first game there, draw, first game of the season. Watford is a different team now. They seem to change their managers with the season changes. And we're
yeah,
slightly different now. Obviously, Van Dijk, the team as a whole has just gotten better. We lost that guy to Barcelona. So both teams are, at different places than they were, of course, in the first game of the season. When you think about Watford, is there anybody on that team that maybe kind of worries you, or you think that can give us some trouble in this game?
Yeah, I think the two players that I'm kind of looking at is obviously Richarlison.
Yeah.
He's he's just kind of that dynamic player that he can give any team issue, but also just the way that he plays with Decore in the midfield. Decore is also everywhere, and he's just kind of running the midfield. And then if they link up, then I think that they could cause problems. But I don't see anything Liverpool can't handle with the way that they've been playing in the back. I mean, you can say, yeah, we lost to Man United, but it was off of two fluke long balls where they had Lukaku and we had somebody that couldn't handle that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the tie, and I think that there good results coming too.
Yeah, I think with Watford, you brought it up. A lot of Liverpool fans will be familiar with Decore. He's been in and off our radar allegedly, and I think most of the things that they do that are good, it goes through him. Whether it's him regulating the midfield, being defensive, helping getting things going forward, and then he's able to score goals here and there. It looks like with this coach now, they've had so many coaches, I can't even think of his name, but the coach they have now seems more of a defensive guy, whereas Silva early in the season was supposed to be this kind of new hot young prospect, had them playing a little more expansive. Troy Deeney wasn't playing a lot under him. Troy Deeney is playing now. They're coming off a loss, which I used to call which I would call the Cojones Derby, with Troy Deeney saying that Arsenal didn't have any cojones when they played them the first time. And honestly, Troy Deeney had some similar things to say against us when they played us when we had Skirtle. We were really soft, and Troy Deeney was able to really, really muscle us. So I think it's obvious we're a better team than Watford. Watford has their whole set of problems they could give us. You mentioned Richarlison. They have some decent players, and every now and then Watford have a player or two where you think, oh, you know what, this guy looks pretty good. Maybe in a couple of years he'd be in a bigger team. But under Klopp, rarely, if ever, have we lost back-to-back. So I feel like we'll have a nice bounce back from the United game. Listen, the United game's out of my system personally. I'm not even thinking about that. I was disappointed in the result there, but I know that we'll be able to bounce back. And for me, solidifying top four spot is something that we're definitely going to do, and I feel like it's a foregone conclusion. But I'm looking to see. I'm looking to see, and I'm curious what you think about the center back tandem going forward. Now, we don't want to be prisoner of one game, well, the most recent game, and you can say things about Lovren or Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'm curious to ask you, Cam, who do you feel most comfortable with matching up next to, or not matching up, but pairing with Virgil van Dijk in the center of our defense?
In the Watford game, I see it as Matip.
Yeah.
I can see what Klopp was doing when he was playing Lovren in the United game. He knew they were gonna try to send long balls, and Lovren is better in the air than Matip, and that's not any dig on Matip, but then there's also a lot of things that Lovren was supposed to do that didn't do it, and it kind of went the other way. But I think with this game, they're not going to be sending long balls up to Troy Deeney's head. They're going to try to do it a different way than United, and I think that Matip is a little bit more agile on the ground. He's better with the ball. If the ball's on the ground a lot, I feel like more comfortable with Matip at this time. So, but I'm also not one of those people that says Lovren should never see a chance in this side. even at this point in his career, like, it's also the season that we're in, and he's not going to get transferred mid-season, so we might as well use him when you can. So I don't know. I think Klopp's doing a good job, and I would be surprised if Klopp didn't choose Matip.
Yeah, no, Cam, you're right. You make a good point. I think I'll speak for myself. I could be prisoner of certain moments, and I was one of those guys that was saying, you know what, I've had enough of Lovren. I want to see Matip. But it's only. Yeah, and it's only fair what you said. He's on our team now, so we have to. And I have to remind myself this a lot. We have to just get behind the players that we have, get behind who because this is all we have. There's no other transfers until the summer. So
Lovren's not out there saying that he's not picking himself in that side. Klopp's putting him in there.
No, very true, very true.
But like I understand the people that say like, oh, maybe he's not suited for us for next year, especially now that we've got Van Dijk, maybe get another center back. I'm all for that, especially because I think Matip would be a great backup center back to like if we get another center back and Matip's got to play with that center back or Matip's got to play with Van Dijk, I think that then that would suit us really well. But I still think that we've got so much to earn in this season where we're at. So we make do with what we got, you know.
Yeah. That pretty much sums things up there. Give me a score prediction.
For Watford,
Watford. Watford. Yeah.
because then we should go to the score predictions for Champions League as well. Even though it's a bit away, it's a bit of ways away, but I'd
No,
be
I don't
down
mind
with
doing
that.
that.
I'm
I don't
saying
mind doing that.
3-1 Liverpool over Watford.
Mm.
Salah goal. Uh, Chan goal. He likes one
My
against
man.
Watford every now and then. You remember?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm saying Salah, Firmino, Chan.
Salah from
Yeah.
trend. Yeah, it looks like these days Salah is pretty nailed on to get a goal in these games. Of course, we had a small dip United game that had to do a lot of different things. I think though, but yeah, that's a good shot. I was just talking to my son about it, and I think um, I was saying 4-1. I think 3-1, 4-1 is definitely something we can do. It's really all about how Watford. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I said I like that. I like three
Yeah.
3-1 or 4-1. I like where your mindset's at.
Yeah, I think it really depends, as a lot of these games do, especially with teams who I don't. I guess we can kind of assume that they'll play. I don't want to say they're going to park the bus necessarily, but I do think they'll play a bit cautious away from home. Um, and I feel like it really depends on if we can jump on them early, and if we can jump on them early and get the goals early. Usually for Liverpool, that kind of has a domino effect, and we just continue to score goals. So
Yeah,
as long as yeah, as long as we can get on early, I do see them maybe getting one off of something fluke, penalties, set piece, whatever. So yeah, 3-1 goes well for me. And then goal scorers, I have Salah, Firmino, Salah, Firmino, and Van Dijk. Van Dijk's due a set piece header or something. I mean, the one against United was just that. Just thinking about that really irritates me. But yeah, so City, on the reverse, I'll go first with that. And although it is a ways away, I am excited to talk about this. So I'm gonna say a good score for us. People probably think I'm crazy, but I think we need to more so we need to than what I want, but we need to at home get because we got home first, right? We're at home first. Yeah. So
yeah, home
I would say
first, and then the second leg at the end.
okay, right. So I'll say home 3-1. I know that's like very uh presumptuous, but I would say 3-1, 2 or 3-1. I would say I think we need to get a couple goals, and we need to do everything we can to keep them from scoring a bunch of goals. I mentioned something early before we got on a video I made earlier, and I said, you know, as much as we love Klopp, I think Klopp really needs to find a way to catch people off guard. I think people know what Liverpool are going to do every game. You know, every now and then he'll do something that maybe knocks people off the foot a little bit. But I think for the most part, most coaches, most teams know when we play Liverpool at home or away, they're going to attack and they're going to keep attacking and be relentless. I feel like Klopp needs to find a way to maybe just catch people by surprise and do something. Now, I can't see him playing defensively necessarily, but something. I don't know what that something is. He gets paid to make those decisions, but I'm saying
I
he's got to
agree.
do something.
I'm on the same page with you as that. I don't think he needs to come in with a different game plan. I think that in between games, when you go up 1-0, when you go up 2-0, or you're up 2-1, the game management between the is where I think it comes down to. Sometimes he's also criticized for not using his substitutes early enough. Like he's always subbing 77th minute, 88, like 85th minute, like not giving the guys enough time to make the change if he's making those substitutions. But I think that he's always going to have the game plan to attack. From there, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, especially in
Yeah.
Champions League, where it's over 2 legs. It's not just one Premier League game, and we got to get the 3 points. It'll be a little bit different. So I can see where Liverpool might, for periods of the 2 legs, be playing farther back than normal. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I think it's gonna have to be that way at some point. I mean, it just has to be. We know how lethal we can be, but also City as well. And as much as I love the way Klopp plays, that's why I even hesitate to suggest he should change anything or alter anything, because it's amazing to see, especially when it's clicking, which it usually is. But a game against City, I think we played them enough to know where we can't allow them to get out on us. So, again, I think it was really impressive what we did at Liverpool. And again, we're the only team in the Premier League to beat them. So there's been a lot of talk about how we've had an easy way to go in the Champions League, as opposed to City. But when you think about it, we have two teams from our group stage that are in the quarterfinals now. Probably people wouldn't have thought that, but both us and Sevilla are in the quarterfinals now. So I think playing against City, beating arguably the team that is probably favorite to win it all. I think a lot of people are saying that. They're saying that they're up there already with the best teams in Europe, which usually are, Bayern, Barca, and Real Madrid. So I think this is a really big statement, a big vote of confidence for the boys, the team, the fans, and just the world on a world stage, just to see Liverpool knock City off. So it would be amazing if we can do that. I'm ultra confident in it, and I think we can do it. Did you give me a score prediction for that game?
I'm predicting 2-2 at home, and then we'll have to get a result.
Yeah.
Whether that we could, whether that's I mean, it could be 2-1 away there, but we will see.
That'll get us over. I think I don't really worry about what we can do at Etihad, even though, I mean, earlier I know what happened. That game, I don't want to make it seem like it didn't count. I mean, we lost. It's cool, but we know how that game was different. And it's amazing that City can't even fill their stadium out, even for Champions League games. So I think as far as Anfield and Etihad,
we'll probably have a better atmosphere.
Oh, no question.
They have a better atmosphere.
Oh, it's not even close. Not even close.
At their own home stadium than them.
Oh, right. I get what you're saying. Yeah, you're probably right. Because Liverpool's going to travel deep. They always do. They always will. Sometimes it seems like the away fans, if you can believe this, and this is from TV, of course, but seem to be louder than the fans at Anfield sometimes. But listen, it's a big tie. It's a big tie. I don't want to get too much away from the Watford game. That's the next game, so that's big as well, because again, we find ourselves in a position where, not that I am, and I'm sure you aren't doubting that we get top four, but it's all of a sudden kind of close again. Chelsea's there; they're probably going to miss out. Tottenham just lost. Kane, is that going to hurt them? Is Chelsea going to surpass them? I believe we still will get top four, but we got to win these games. We got to win these games against teams that let's be honest, we should be beating. The only team really that I feel like it should give us some trouble, maybe Chelsea, and then the derby is always a derby, so you never know with that. But other than that, we should be able to finish this season strong. What do you say to that?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely on the same page as you. It's tough for Tottenham to lose Kane when they did. The games coming up are so important. I don't know how many games he's actually going to miss, whether that's 2 or 3. It's not quite clear yet, but those 2 or 3 games could be crucial. And then also Chelsea kind of in their poor form right now. The teams below us don't look like they're really right on our back, But at the same time, there's a lot of Premier League games to be played, and I'm very confident that we'll finish top 4. Yeah.
What I wanted to ask you. Oh yeah, so I'm curious to know, this is the last thing I'll say, but what place do you think we'll finish in? Do you think we're destined for 3rd or 4th? Do you really care as long as we're in top 4? What's your feelings on that?
I cared earlier. I would like the prestige, just to be like, yeah, we finished ahead of United. But
right.
The thing is that it only matters so much 2 years down the road, who finished 2nd, who finished 3rd. We won't be focused on that. But I really want to make a deep run in Champions League, because we'll remember a final in the Champions League, even if we weren't even to come out with the win. We're playing in the Champions League final, and that's what we're gonna remember in the recent years, or in the upcoming years. Especially if we were to win. But the first place in the Premier League looks a little, done. Especially they could win it at United, in between our legs with them. City could.
Yeah. I've been listening to some podcasts and people have been saying that. That's a good point.
Yeah. So You want to know what would actually be hilarious if City threw out their U21 squad against United in between legs with Liverpool.
Man, have you been hearing what?
They might and they might still win
Go
the
ahead, no, go ahead.
Champions League, Premier
Yeah,
League there. That'd be
I think it's
hilarious.
gonna happen. Have you been hearing? Have you been hearing what Marino's been saying lately? Just this guy is just nuts, man.
Just
This
bad
man,
mouthing the club. Oh, the club's been in this position before. They just
yo, man, oh man, he came out today and said something about Man United has no football heritage. I mean, I don't know how that's helping. Anyway, that's not our problem. But I just find it funny that I mean, this guy really he's nasty on the mic, so to speak. He's really nasty on the mic, man.
he says whatever he wants. He's bullshitting. He doesn't care. Like he's thinks that he's doing the right thing, that what he's doing with United, and nobody's gonna tell him different, and nobody's gonna ask him to be different, which is hilarious because I think that he's playing such a garbage style of football that I'd rather have him there than not there. So
Yeah. Well, look, man, Cam. Guys, if you guys want to check Cam out, he's we're both on the Foresight podcast. Usually after the games. That's FOARSITE. As usual, I'll put the link in the description. Cam, thank you so much for making time for me, man. I really appreciate this, and I will be talking to you pretty soon. Hopefully, we're in good spirits when we get on the pod, man.
much appreciated.
All right, buddy. See you later.
See ya.